All right, everybody, let's dive into financial security today.
Sounds good.
We're going deep on this one with Chapter 6 of The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, yeah, a classic.
Yeah, and we're going to see if this ancient wisdom, if it can help us build our own financial fortresses today.
Well, it's interesting because this chapter uses the walls of Babylon
Right.
as like a powerful metaphor for planning ahead, being proactive with your money,
Oh, yeah.
not just like reacting to problems. It's about creating a system.
Yeah, like a whole system.
Protects your wealth.
Yeah, so it's like you're building that foundation.
Exactly.
That first line of defense.
Yeah.
The book really emphasizes insurance. It compares it to a shield protecting you from those unexpected, like rocks that life throws at you.
Yeah, the things you don't see coming.
Exactly. But I think we can go a little bit beyond, just the basics here.
Yeah.
What are some types of insurance we should be thinking about today, in the modern world?
Well, it's not just about having insurance.
Right.
It's about having the right insurance.
Oh, okay.
You have to think about your own individual needs and like what risks you might face.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of people, that could be health insurance,
Yeah.
disability insurance, or even life insurance, if you have people who depend on you.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, okay, we've got that foundation.
Right.
That essential protection from, the unexpected.
What ifs.
The what ifs, exactly. But now we got to fortify these walls, right?
Absolutely.
So the book talks about diversification. That classic, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Diversification is so key to managing risk. Instead of putting all your investments in one area, you got to spread them across different things, stocks, bonds, real estate.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even like precious metals or even cryptocurrencies.
Oh, wow.
The idea is, if one of those areas takes a hit,
Right.
the others can kind of cushion the blow.
So it's almost like having multiple layers of defense.
Exactly.
So if one part of the market, is down,
the whole thing doesn't crumble.
Exactly. It's all about balance.
Okay, but how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many options out there. It's kind of overwhelming.
Well, that's where modern portfolio theory comes in.
Okay.
It's a framework that helps you build that diversified portfolio based on things like, your risk tolerance, your goals, and like your time horizon. It looks at how different asset classes have performed over time, and how they've been connected or not.
Okay, so this is getting a little technical for me.
Yeah.
Is this modern portfolio theory? Is that something that anyone can use, or do we need to like call in the experts here?
Well, it can definitely get complex.
Yeah.
That's why talking to a pro can be so helpful. A financial advisor can help you figure this stuff out, like tailor a strategy that fits your needs.
Yeah.
And like adjust it as things change.
So it's like having, a skilled architect designing that fortress.
Exactly.
Yeah, you wouldn't build a real fortress without an expert.
So why do we treat our finances any differently?
It's a good point.
But let's go deeper on this whole getting advice thing.
Okay.
What should we be looking for in a financial advisor? And like, how do you even find one that's trustworthy and, right for you?
That's a great question. And yeah, one we should definitely dig into.
Okay.
So, there are different kinds of financial advisors.
Right.
Some are fee only.
Okay.
Meaning they just charge a flat fee for their services.
Okay.
While others make money from commissions on products they sell.
Oh, okay.
So understanding that difference is crucial.
So it's not just about finding an advisor. It's about understanding how they actually operate.
Exactly.
And making sure their interests, align with ours.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how do we actually find an advisor then?
Well, you can start by asking friends, family, colleagues.
Oh, yeah, referrals.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can look online. There are reputable resources out there like the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards or the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors.
Those are good resources.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we got to do our research.
Definitely.
Just like we would with any other important decision.
It's an investment.
Yeah. But before we get too far into finding an advisor,
Okay.
let's take a step back and connect these concepts to something we can all relate to.
Okay.
Insurance.
Yeah.
The book uses that shield analogy, but I think it can be even more practical than that.
Okay. How so?
Imagine you're driving your car. Insurance isn't just a shield then.
Yeah.
It's like a safety net
Okay.
in case of an accident.
I like that.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just having it right.
Right.
It's about understanding like the details of your policy.
Okay.
Like, do you have enough liability coverage? What's your deductible?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Have you thought about an umbrella policy for extra protection?
Right. These are things people don't think about until it's too late.
Yeah, it's important.
So let's unpack this a little bit. Okay. Can you explain some of these key insurance terms for us?
All right, let's start with liability coverage.
Okay.
So this protects you if you're at fault in an accident and you cause damage to someone else's property or, injure them.
Mm-hmm.
It's super important to have enough coverage, to protect what you own.
Right.
Just in case someone sues you.
Okay. And then there's the deductible.
Right.
That's the amount you pay out of pocket before the insurance actually kicks in.
Exactly. So a higher deductible usually means you pay less each month.
Oh, okay.
But it also means you got to shell out more money up front if you have a claim.
I see.
It's about finding that balance between your budget and how much risk you're comfortable with.
Right. So it's kind of like a trade-off.
Exactly.
Lower monthly payments
versus,
maybe paying more later if something bad happens.
Exactly.
What about that umbrella policy you mentioned?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds interesting.
So an umbrella policy gives you like an extra layer of liability coverage.
It goes beyond your normal car or home insurance.
Oh, okay.
It could protect you from those big lawsuits.
Okay.
The ones that could like wipe out your regular coverage.
Yeah.
Think of it as a safety net for like catastrophic events.
Right. It's like the worst case scenario.
Exactly.
Okay. I see how this all connects back to, building those financial walls.
Yeah. It all ties together.
It's not just about having insurance.
Right.
It's about really understanding it.
Absolutely.
And making sure you have the right coverage,
Yeah. Got to be prepared.
Okay, but let's shift gears for a second and talk about diversification again.
Sure.
You mentioned alternative investments earlier, things like precious metals or crypto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what role did those play in a diversified portfolio?
Well, they can offer some potential benefits, like protecting against inflation or like diversifying away from traditional stocks and bonds.
Okay.
But they also come with their own risks, and they can be complicated.
Right. So they're not for everyone.
Exactly.
And it's important to do your research, before you just jump in.
And this is another area where, like, talking to a financial advisor could be really helpful.
Okay.
Someone who specializes in alternative investments.
Right.
They can help you decide if it's right for you.
Yeah.
And guide you through how it all works.
Okay. So we've covered insurance diversification and the importance of getting advice.
Right.
But let's bring it back to the listener for a minute.
Okay.
What does this all mean for their financial well-being? Why should they care about building these financial walls?
Well, building strong financial walls.
Yeah.
It's not just about protecting yourself from bad things happening,
Right.
It's about creating a foundation for financial freedom.
Okay.
And peace of mind.
I like that.
Imagine being able to pursue what you're passionate about,
Yeah.
Maybe start a business or travel the world without constantly stressing about money.
That sounds nice.
That's the power of being financially secure.
It's about taking control
Absolutely.
of your financial future.
Right.
And building a life where you can thrive,
Yeah, where you can focus on what matters.
But let's be real for a second. It can feel really daunting. Where do we even start?
It starts with a plan.
Okay.
You got to assess where you are now financially, figure out your goals.
Okay.
And like how much risk you're comfortable taking.
Yeah.
Once you know where you stand and where you want to go,
right,
you can start building a strategy,
Okay, so it's not like a one-size-fits-all solution.
Exactly.
It's got to be personalized.
Gotcha. And it's a journey, right?
It is.
It's not just a destination.
Exactly. Your financial walls are going to change over time.
Right? As your circumstances change.
As life happens.
Yeah, like those ancient city walls needing repairs and upgrades.
Exactly. Got to keep up with the times.
To withstand new challenges. But how do we make sure our walls stay strong over time?
Is it just about setting up that initial plan and then just hoping for the best?
Definitely not. It's about ongoing maintenance and being vigilant.
Okay.
You got to review your insurance policies regularly, rebalance your investments when needed.
Right.
And stay informed about what's happening in the financial world.
So it's not just set it and forget it.
Nope. It takes effort.
It requires, being active and being willing to adapt.
Exactly. Got to stay engaged.
So what are some practical things listeners can do
to
stay on top of their financial well-being?
Well, one simple but really powerful step is to create a budget.
Okay.
And track your spending.
Yeah.
This helps you see where your money's actually going.
Right.
And find areas where you could save more or invest more.
So it's about being mindful of your choices.
Absolutely.
And making sure they're helping you reach your goals.
That's the key.
Okay, what about like resources? Are there any tools or websites
Oh, yeah.
that can help people manage their finances?
There are so many great personal finance apps and websites out there
Oh, cool.
that can help you budget track investments and even get personalized advice.
Okay.
Some popular ones are Mint, Personal Capital Betterment.
Okay.
And of course, don't forget about good old-fashioned books and articles.
Yeah.
There's so much information out there to help you learn and grow.
So it's about using all the tools available.
Yeah. Use everything you can.
To empower ourselves financially.
Exactly. Take control.
But let's go back to getting expert advice for a sec.
Okay.
Earlier, we talked about finding a trustworthy financial advisor.
Right.
What are some red flags to watch out for?
Well, a big red flag is an advisor who pressures you into investments you don't understand.
Okay.
Or who promises you, like, unrealistic returns.
Right.
Be wary of anyone who promises you'll get rich quick.
Yeah. Those are always scams.
Exactly. Remember, investing is a long game. There are no shortcuts to building real wealth.
So it's about being cautious.
Absolutely.
And doing your research.
Yeah. Got to do your homework.
And if something feels off, it probably is.
Trust your gut.
Yeah. Okay, so a good advisor will be transparent about their fees.
Yes.
Their approach. And any potential conflicts of interest.
Transparency is key.
So it's about finding someone who's like a true partner.
Exactly.
In your financial journey.
A teammate.
Yeah, not just someone trying to sell you something.
Someone who's on your side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about the psychology of money, you know?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
The book focuses on practical stuff, but I think it's important to remember that our emotions can play a huge role in our decisions about money.
Absolutely. Fear, greed, even how we were raised.
Yeah.
All that can affect how we manage our money.
So how do we navigate that emotional side of finance?
Right.
How do we get over those mental blocks that might be holding us back?
Well, self-awareness is huge.
Right.
You got to start by recognizing like your own beliefs about money and your behaviors.
Yeah.
What are your financial fears?
Right.
What are your spending triggers?
That's a good question.
Once you understand those patterns,
right.
you can start to challenge them and develop healthier habits.
So it's almost like building those financial walls from the inside out.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. But what if we're dealing with like deep-seated anxieties about money or even like past financial traumas, you know?
Yeah.
Is that something a financial advisor can help with?
Well, financial advisors can definitely give you good guidance.
Yeah.
But they're not usually trained therapists.
Right.
If you're struggling with like serious emotional issues related to money, it might be helpful to talk to a therapist.
Okay.
Someone who specializes in financial therapy.
Yeah. So it's about knowing your limits.
Right.
And getting the right support when you need it.
Exactly. Find the right expert.
Okay. But let's bring it back to the book again for a minute.
Okay.
One thing that really stood out to me was this emphasis on patience and consistency.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Babylonians didn't build those walls overnight.
Right. It took time.
And we shouldn't expect to achieve, you know, financial security instantly.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But how do we stay motivated?
Yeah.
You know, and not get discouraged when it feels like it's taking forever. And it's hard.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
It can be really hard to stay focused on those long-term goals,
Yeah.
especially, you know, when you're dealing with like everyday expenses and wants and needs.
Right. You want instant gratification.
Exactly. So do you have any tips for staying motivated?
Yeah.
You know, like how do we keep our eyes on the prize?
Well, I think setting really clear goals is a great place to start.
Okay.
Like really visualize what you're working towards, whether it's buying a house or retiring early or just, you know, becoming financially independent.
Right.
The more real those goals feel to you, the more motivated you'll be to stay on track.
Having that clear vision can make a big difference, I think.
It does.
It's like having a destination on a map.
Exactly.
It gives you a sense of purpose, you know?
Yeah.
But what about when things go wrong? Life throws curveballs, you know?
It does.
How do we handle those financial bumps in the road?
Well, you got to be resilient.
Okay.
It's about seeing those setbacks as like opportunities to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to adjust your plan if you need to. And remember that even the most successful investors, they lose money sometimes.
Right. Everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly. It's all about how you respond to those challenges.
Okay, so it's not about avoiding mistakes. It's about, you know, bouncing back from them.
Yeah, learning from them.
Yeah. But sometimes those financial challenges can feel really overwhelming.
They can be.
Where can people turn for help if they're feeling lost or discouraged?
Well, there are tons of resources out there.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to talk to a financial advisor, a credit counselor, or even just a trusted friend or family member.
Right.
There are also nonprofit organizations that offer free or low-cost help.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, they can give you financial education and counseling.
So we're not alone in this.
Definitely not.
There's help out there. Okay, let's go back to the richest man in Babylon for a sec.
Okay.
One thing that really stuck with me was this idea that wealth isn't just about money.
Oh, yeah.
It's about using it wisely, to create a life of purpose.
Right, like finding fulfillment.
Exactly. So how do we connect that ancient wisdom to our modern financial goals?
Well, I think it's about aligning your money decisions with your values.
Okay.
And your aspirations. Like what truly matters to you.
Yeah.
How can your money help you achieve those things?
Right.
Maybe it's donating to charity or pursuing your hobbies or starting a business or even just spending quality time with loved ones.
Yeah. Those are all important.
Money is a tool.
Right.
And it's up to us to use it in a way that brings meaning and joy to our lives.
I love that it's not just about building those walls.
Right.
It's about what we do inside those walls.
Exactly.
You know how we create a life that's rich in experiences and relationships and personal growth?
It's about the whole picture.
Yeah. This has been such a great conversation.
It has.
We've talked about so much,
Yeah.
from insurance and diversification to, deeper stuff like resilience and well-being.
Right, and the meaning of wealth.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
We've been talking about building financial walls.
Right, as a metaphor.
As a metaphor for protection and security.
Yeah.
But what if those walls were more than that?
Okay.
What if they were a foundation for something even bigger?
Interesting.
What if they represented not just financial stability, but also the freedom to pursue your dreams,
Okay.
to make a difference and live a life that's truly meaningful?
Yeah.
What would that look like for you? What are you building within those walls?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Yeah.
And one I hope our listeners will really think about.
Yeah, me too. It's a reminder that financial security isn't the end goal.
Right.
It's a starting point
Exactly.
to create a life that's full of purpose and passion and impact.
It's about what you do with it.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Chapter 6 of The Richest Man in Babylon.
It was a good one.
It was. We hope you've learned some valuable things.
Yeah.
And gotten some practical ideas for building your own financial fortress.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, we hope you've been inspired to think about what wealth really means and how you can use your resources to create a life that's truly fulfilling.
That's what it's all about.
Remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
That's so true.
And even the strongest walls were built brick by brick.
One step at a time.
So start with a plan,
Right.
get advice, and keep those walls strong.
You got this.
Until next time, happy building.
And remember, you're not alone in this. There's a whole community out there to support you.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It was great to be here.
We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration
Sounds good.
of knowledge and ideas.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep building those walls.
Take care.